We have just learned in the last few moments that Senator Lindsey Graham from the state of South Carolina has died at the age of 71. His staff said in a brief statement posted to social media just late tonight that the senator suffered from a brief illness and then passed away. This was unexpected.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and me, Double D. And you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. Got somewhat, I mean, it's tragic when anyone dies, I guess, but Lindsey Graham has officially passed away. I believe it was last night. I'd seen it like 2:15 when I first got the notification of it. I was randomly in a hotel watching the news and seeing that Lindsey Graham passed. It was just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, what? This wasn't on my bingo cards today.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, that's for sure. I don't think anybody was. I mean, the president talked to him at like 1 o'clock or something like that the night before.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the SAVE Act.
Yeah, and he was actually going to get ready to push the SAVE Act through before this tragically happened. Kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys seen it yet. 71 years old. It's kind of young for what happened. There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around it too right now, Double D.
I was going to say, Bird, you don't think it's a little bit peculiar that the guy who was going to push the SAVE Act mysteriously comes down with a brief and sudden illness?
Yeah, and it's weird too.
They were saying heart attack.
Yeah, that's the weird. That's the weird thing I was going to say. Like they were saying it was a heart attack, and then it's like a sudden illness. I'm like, what kind of sudden illness did he get that just like knocked him out in like within a 12-hour span?
Okay, I'm going to answer that because you could have a heart attack and kind of start feeling ill before it happens. And then you have the heart attack, and it can come from out of nowhere, right?
Okay.
Theoretically,
okay.
From out of nowhere.
Okay,
yeah.
so, but that's what I'm saying. So it's weird that like they were saying it was a heart attack, then they're saying it's not a heart attack; it was a sudden illness. I don't know. Like it's just the whole way that they're kind of spinning it is like just very confusing to me.
The part that I found the most suspicious is the fact that he was fully prepared to push the SAVE Act and get it pushed through Congress and get it right over the edge.
Right.
And then he comes down with a brief and sudden mysterious illness.
Kind of crazy.
Peculiar.
Kind of crazy. So if you guys haven't seen it, we'll just a little brief 1-minute video kind of explaining to you a little bit what happened.
We have just learned in the last few moments that Senator Lindsey Graham from the state of South Carolina has died at the age of 71. His staff said in a brief statement posted to social media just late tonight that the senator suffered from a brief illness and then passed away. This was unexpected.
A longtime member of Congress, first elected to the House of Representatives in 1992. He has served as South Carolina's senator since 2003, elected to the Senate in 2002. 4 nearly full terms in the Senate, but 71-year-old Lindsey Graham, who was once a very strong critic of then candidate Donald Trump, has become one of his staunchest allies in the Senate of President Trump and has backed him both terms that President Trump has served in the Oval Office.
So we are just learning this information tonight, that late tonight, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina died at the age of 71. What this means now heading into the midterm elections will all be determined in the next several days. We've still not heard from the White House tonight. This is just information that is coming in the last few minutes. So as Lindsey Graham was a frequent guest on Sunday morning talk shows, we expect we will hear much reaction in the next few hours.
And control of the Senate is a big question heading into these midterm elections. The state of South Carolina, if they need to fill a seat in the Senate, is appointed by the governor, Republican Henry McMaster. We will figure those things out in the coming days and weeks. But again, Lindsey Graham, senator of South Carolina, dead at the age of 71.
So, whether you like the man or not, rest in peace to him. It's still tragic when anyone passes away. Now, as I'm getting ready to say something about Mitch McConnell, it's funny that Benny Johnson just did a video 7 minutes ago. Mitch McConnell breaks silence, posts proof of life after Lindsey Graham dies. This is weird, Ross. We're living in a matrix right now, Double D.
It's kind of starting to feel that way, dude. I'm waiting for the Mr. Anderson to come and haunt me.
So,
It's
so along to go with the conspiracy theorists, Double D, this is kind of the reason why we have conspiracy theorists, because of ladies like this, because of the other video we're going to watch after this, and because of the protesters we're going to see after that. It's crazy that, like, these people are kind of are happy. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It's weird. They're like taking credit for it.
They're taking credit and they're finding joy out of the death of Lindsey Graham. And they're taking credit for it, although obviously right now it's still considered a brief and sudden illness. So that's not really a conspiracy in itself.
Right. But it is a little odd in particular, like you said.
But he was really healthy, like literally 12 hours before.
Right, which is kind of weird. So then you got this crazy chick saying things like this.
به درک واصل شدن لیندسی گراهام، سناتور جنگ طلب و ضد ایرانی آمریکا رو به ملت بزرگ ایران شاد باش عرض میکنم. عرض کنم
So she basically just said, I want to say thank you to the Iranian government for basically what they did. Like, maybe they had something to do with it. So to go along with the conspiracy theorists, you have people in Iran pushing things out like this to go with the conspiracy theories.
Well, I was always wondering, Bert, and I've always been under the impression that they always have physicians available and close by. So, like, was there anybody throughout his whole travels in Ukraine? Or was there any doctors aboard that plane? Is there anybody who noticed anything strange about his health? Because the only thing I've seen so far, he looked fairly healthy.
Yeah, he looked normal last time I seen him a couple of days ago. So I don't get it. So here's another video. This is the Iranian media. They're mocking him with Legos.
A propaganda video.
With
yeah,
Legos. With Legos.
Video.
This is where we've gone. This is where we've gone in 2026 to where terrorists are making propaganda videos in Lego format.
It tells me that the children have taken over all the governments. We don't have anybody responsible in these other countries anymore. They're all living with their heads up their asses in some kind of, like, I don't know, make up believe land or whatever. But it's dude, I'm telling you, man, they're all nuts.
It's crazy.
They're all crazy.
You guys haven't seen this. This video is insane. Did you know this? The daughter had X's on her eyes. I wonder if that symbolizes anything.
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's like everybody else has regular eyes.
Yeah, maybe
it's a doll.
Or
doll.
Or doll. Yeah. He didn't have any kids, so.
So is that meant to be like Laura Loomer? Is that who they're trying to say?
They're trying to do what?
Did you notice that Laura, is that meant to be for Laura Loomer right there?
Probably. I would assume so, yeah.
Crazy.
Check on Lindsey. They haven't checked on Laura yet. But dude, you know what? This video is telling me that if you have a foreign doctor that's Islamic or Muslim or disagrees with American values and Christianity, you might have to worry about that person if you're in an emergency situation.
Man, that's kind of crazy to think.
That's what the video's telling me.
That's got to be like the group or company that made it or something. All right, so this video's over, I believe. Yeah, we're done with this one. That's
Yeah, that was a total propaganda video. And
yeah.
they're basically saying how easy it is for them to kill off Americans because they're in our fields of medical.
So 5 days ago, Lindsey Graham has responded to a call for his assassination at the funeral of Khamenei. He was one among several signs calling for assassinations being held, which was Trump. Obviously, we've seen all the crazy Trump's signs that they've been posting. Say we're going to literally saying we're going to off you, Trump. Ben Shapiro, that makes sense because he's hated by anybody who's not a juice box. Jigsaw. When did the movie characters come into this?
I don't know, dude. Apparently, they got a thing for Hollywood. Maybe that's what that's supposed to assume.
It's either that Double D or that's just somebody's nickname, and we just don't realize whose nickname it is.
That actually makes more sense.
Yeah. So then we got Miriam Adelson. Who's that? Miriam Adelson.
I believe she's one of the congresswomen, right?
I'm not. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's look her up really quick. All right.
Yeah, look her up.
Miriam Adelson, Israeli American physician. Oh, she's just an Israeli. That's why.
Okay.
Then we got Mark Dubowitz and Peter Thiel. So
Peter Thiel, we know.
Yeah, we already know they hate Peter Thiel.
They hate the fuck out of Peter Thiel.
And if you guys don't believe this, like here's the signs right here. Like we got Ben Shapiro, we got Trump, obviously. What's that? Peter Thiel right there. That must be the Miriam chick.
Yeah.
So people can say what they want. And I'm not like a whole juice box sympathizer or anything, but these people are the same as what they complain about the juice boxes to be. They are what they complain about.
They're far more aggressive. They may not be more aggressive than the IDF, but overall, as far as a threat to world peace and a threat to American society and Western society at large, they're far more aggressive.
So here's my take on things. My pretty much my final thought. All right, I am not a Lindsey Graham fan, not by the least. I know he was a warmonger. It just rubbed me the wrong way all around, basically, right? But I don't wish death upon anybody, and I still want to say rest in peace to Lindsey Graham. It's terrible to go out that way, but whether you are Republican, Democrat, liberal, libertarian, conservative, you're far left, you should not want something like this, and you should not want the Iranian people and government to be talking about your people like this and to be saying that they might have had something to do with Lindsey Graham not being here anymore. You know what I mean? So it's so weird how some people are going to cheer this. They're going to be good, he's gone. I'm glad. And even people on the right are going to cheer this because there's a lot of people on the right that did not like Lindsey Graham. I'm one of them. But I'm not going to cheer for anyone's death. I'm still going to say rest in peace. And it's said that we're never going to probably know what really happened. Just for the simple fact that there's going to be so much propaganda out there. Look at everything going on with Charlie Kirk's thing, right? You got literal evidence being shown in the court, and people are still going with the conspiracy theories like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? And I love Tucker Carlson. Not a fan of Candace Owens at all. I liked what she did with the Black Lives Matter stuff with exposing them. But other than that, I'm not a fan of Candace Owens. I don't get into female talking points when it comes to politics. So I don't listen to her. I don't listen to Megyn Kelly. I like Tucker, but I never really listened to Tucker in full. You know what I mean? It's usually just seeing things here and there. I'm but I always liked Tucker. He's always, he's always came off as cool. He seems pretty knowledgeable in things that he knows, and stuff like that. Same thing with Nick Fuentes. I like Nick Fuentes, but I don't watch him on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? You know me. I watch Jesse Lee Peterson. That's the only person I watch on a consistent basis, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I like Jesse a lot myself, too, mainly because I love his Christian message.
Yeah, for sure.
But about my take on Lindsey Graham, I got to say, obviously, most of my life, he has been as he has been in Congress. So
Yep.
with that said, there's times I've agreed with him. There's lots of times that I've disagreed with him over the 30 years. I do want to credit him for one thing, though, for two things, actually. I want to credit him for two things. First of all, he has backed Donald Trump's play pretty much in both of his terms.
Yeah.
Whenever Donald Trump needed him, he was there for him.
I will
And
say
he
that.
was there to push for his agenda, like
Yeah.
the SAVE Act, for instance. But second of all, dude, he was pretty good at negotiating with Democrats and people on the other side. He had a thing about him that was really good about doing that. He's been consistent about that since he entered Congress. So that's a talent that a lot of people don't have.
Right. No, that's
So I
true.
got to give him credit for that. And as far as the Iranians go, obviously they want to take credit for this. I think we're going to find out that for the most part, it probably is just a brief and sudden illness and an accidental death, or more than likely a heart attack.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're taking credit for it already tells you where they stand.
Right.
So we know what's coming for those who are still alive and who they may
Yep.
be interesting in unaliving.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And with that, I mean, so we got to keep our eye on that. And
another thing, another thing with that being said, Double D, they could be using these videos for a couple of different reasons, right? Making the propaganda videos about saying that they did it. They could be trying to trigger Trump into doing something, a little bit more suddenly that like maybe they'll expect, as opposed to, not realizing Trump's a chess player, so he's not going to fall for that. Or they could be doing this to use it as a negotiating term, saying, "Hey, look what just happened to Lindsey Graham. You don't know if we did that or not, but we're telling you we did that, right?"
That's the point I was going to get at. It's the fact that they're sending the message that they want us to believe that they had something to do with it, whether they did or not. It also tells me in that message that they're going to use our healthcare systems, our emergency safety systems, and our public safety systems, and anything that they can possibly use to get to their targets.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's in all honesty, I don't think it's a smart move for them to be trying to really get under America's skin like that. That's just me personally looking at it from my perspective. I don't think it's smart. Our military is far stronger. You know what I mean? Like everything about us is superior to them.
Well, dude, not only that, but they're also just a pivot away from all the nations around them joining us in the bombing.
Yeah, because
when that happens to them, they're going to pretty much be done. Now, we already took out their nuclear facility the other day.
Yeah, because they had another one.
Right, and I don't want to see anything above and beyond that being used. But at some point or another, the powers that be are going to get tired of playing around with those assholes, and it's going to be kaboom.
Yeah, kaboom.
I mean, it is what it is.
No, that's true. That's true. So, like I said, R.I.P. Lindsey Graham. I'm not gonna try and dog him or talk down on him. I'm not a Democrat. So,
no, absolutely not.
Whether this was Joe Biden, Lindsey Graham, anyone, I'd still say rest in peace.
Yeah, both of them have served their nation for a long, long time. Whether you agree with half of what they did or disagree with the other half, both of them mentioned have given a life of service to government.
Yep.
I don't know how good that is. I think that term limits should be in place because we shouldn't have senators and congressmen dying in office.
Yeah, it's true. It is very true.
That's an argument for another day.
Another day. So I think on that note, we're going to end it. I just want to thank God because without him, none of this is possible. I want to thank the audience. I want to thank my friends and family, and I want to thank Double D.
And as always, Bird, thanks for making our show happen every time as you do. Audience, thanks for sticking around as you do. And to Lindsey Graham's family, our condolences from the Brick Road. And with all that, I still like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing me to be here today to bring you the message. And with all that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Peace.